For those of you still listening, for those of you who are understanding what it is I've been trying to discuss, I want you to remember something. When you're walking down this path, you're going to be animated at certain points in consciousness to teach others. Even if it's indirectly, even if you don't even realize you're doing it at the time. Of course, you're not going to be consciously doing it because it has nothing to do with your free will or your action. It will simply manifest itself. And you might be talking to someone, or you might be at work, and you might start to feel inadequate based on some societal logarithm. Maybe you start to think, oh, I don't make enough money. Oh, that person has a better girlfriend than me, or I wish I had that person's personality. But when you start to go down that path, I want you to remember why you are where you are. Why are you here? You're here because you devoted your time to expanding your understanding of the underlying energies and how you interact with them, as opposed to climbing that corporate ladder or trying to be cool. Now, it's not important whether you even made a conscious decision to do that. See, I know that most of you that are listening right now didn't choose to be here right now. And I know that some of you know that as well. If you haven't read A Brave New World by Aldous Huxley, and I read it back in grade 9 or something, I totally went in one ear and out the other. But recently I read the first 2 chapters of it, and if you do get the time, check it out. It's online and you can, for free, take a little read. It'll take about an hour of your time at most, depending on how slowly you like to absorb those words. Have a read of that. But if you already can recollect the gist of those first couple of chapters, and you have the understanding that you should have, that I think you have, go back to it and read those chapters. You know what it feels like to be an alpha. You know what it feels like to be a beta, a gamma. You know that our collective reality does in fact create those very same embryonic prototypes genetic permutations through our societal systems and mass mind control. I've lived most of my life being a beta, wishing I could put the time and effort into becoming an alpha, becoming one of those really successful people that seem to be so smart and so focused on that little nut. Oh, those alphas are frightfully clever, working so hard. I'm so glad I'm not an alpha. They don't have any fun. You see, our schooling system creates societal prototypes. Our political systems create poverty in the right amounts and in the right geographical areas, so that certain factories remain filled with gammas and deltas, and you know the deal. Our reality is science fiction. This collective reality, I mean, sometimes you just have to laugh at it. But I don't want this to be a sociological exercise. It's just that there's so many layers of mind control that need to be peeled away from the average person. That are even beginning to truly listen. I mean, how can I speak about psychic communication and expanded consciousness when there's so many of those layers that need to be painfully peeled away? And most of the time, I'm trying to make these recordings and I don't even know how to speak about the numerous things that need to be conveyed. Something is making me have to say these things, but it's not always going to be easy for me to explain what it is that is actually going on. But I can tell you that indisputably, from my understanding, that there are levels of mind manipulation far above the usage of mere words. But just getting above that first level, peeling away that first layer, is so difficult. And that's why